Good morning, evening, afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark,
And I'm Zoe.
and we are the Board Adventurers. Back to you with another Late to the Game. We got a good one today. Today we're going to review Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig, designed by Matthew O'Malley and Ben Rossett, published by Stonemaier with Bezier Games. Now, this is a different kind of review that we're doing today because this is the first one where we actually received the game from the publisher.
Yeah.
So shout outs to Stonemaier Games who sent us the game. This is a 3 to 7. It's competitive, but it's like it has a cooperative mechanic into it. Mm-hmm. So what you're going to do in your game is you're going to seat everyone on I guess you could say like a roundish sort of table, or like, actually doesn't matter. You're going to take your throne room and you're going to place it between two people, between two castles. So this throne room is going to signify your castle. And on your turn, each person is going to draw 9 of these tiles. You're going to take 2, and so if I'm sitting here, you're going to have 1 throne room on your left, 1 throne room on your right. When you draw your 9 tiles, you're going to pick 2 tiles, and then you're going to pass the rest to your left. When everyone has chosen their tiles at the table, they're all going to reveal, and you're going to place them. You're going to work with the person next to you to place these tiles next to your throne room or subsequent tiles in a way that you score the most points. At the end of the game, you're going to look at both castles on either side of you. You're going to determine your score from either side of you. Whatever is the lowest is going to be your score. From that score, you're going to compare it with everyone else's castle. Whoever has the highest of that wins the game. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's go into the rooms just for a little bit, just to go over clarification. So there's 7 types of rooms in this game, and I'll try to get through them as fast as I can. So you have these yellow rooms, which are, I believe, your food rooms. They'll score for any room that's directly above or below it. So it can score, I think, a maximum of 4 points. Next, you have your living room, which is your purple room. They're going to score for each type, one type of room that's surrounding it on all 8 sides. The next room is the utility room. That's the orange room. Anything that's touching it directly of the type that's on the tile, you're going to score that. So if you have 2 tiles coming out this way that's of this type, you're going to score 2 points. It doesn't count for anything that is only connected diagonally to it. Next, you have your garden or your outdoor room. I believe it's an outdoor room. These are tiles that are in blue. One thing to note about tiles in blue is that you cannot put any tile above it because it's technically an outdoor space. So it's like you're not building anything on top of it. Your outdoor space scores 1 point for any type of room in your entire castle. Next, you have your sleeping room. So your sleeping room scores if you have the other 6 types of rooms in your castle. It'll score 4 points. A corridor. So let me just backtrack a little bit. Of the 5 that I've mentioned before, those tiles can only go above ground. So your throne room is at ground level. Those 5 tiles can only be placed horizontally from this point or vertically above. And whenever you place a room, you have to make sure that you have a room that is right below it. So you can't have a room that's freestanding right diagonal from your throne room like that. Your corridor can go above or below your throne room, so it could actually go below, and it'll score 1 point for every decoration that surrounds it of that type. On all the rooms, they have both the type of room on the top left and the decoration on the top right. So you'll want to check your decoration and try to surround your corridor with that kind of decoration. Lastly is a downstairs room. Downstairs rooms typically score for every type of room that is above that in any location above that room. So you could have a room that's 3 floors above that is of that symbol. That would still count to your point system. One thing again to note is that once you've placed, again as a team, once you've placed the third tile of any one type of room, so say I played 3 food rooms, you get special effects. So the food room gives you, it lets you draw 5 tiles from the supply. You'll get to place any one into your castle. If you play 5 of your living rooms, the purple rooms, you're gonna get to take one of these tiles. These tiles score 1 for every type of for a certain type of decoration in your castle. So that's something, if you're focusing a certain decoration, you'll want to go for that. Your utility room, your orange room, will let you draw from a deck of cards. So there's a deck of orange cards. You draw 3 and you'll play 1 as a victory condition. Your outdoor space, if you get 3 of those in your castle, it lets you place a fountain. A fountain is flat 5 points. If you have 5 of your sleeping rooms, you get to place a tower. Your tower will score 1 for every room that's below it. That includes throne rooms, and that includes any downstairs below grade rooms. If you play your 3rd corridor room, you get to place the grand foyer. So the grand foyer scores 1 for every room that's surrounded. If that one room happens to be your throne room, this only counts as 1 room because it is 1 whole room. So this would only count as 1 point in terms of this grand foyer. Finally, there's a downstairs. If you play 3 of your downstairs rooms, then you get to copy any one of the other 6 effects for getting the 3rd option. And again, we went over the scoring for the end. It's the lowest of your 2 castles. And then from there, you're comparing it with everybody else's, and then you'll see who wins. That is how you play Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig. What do you think?
So, just as a caveat for this review, part of the reason, too, we chose this game is because we've never played the games that this is based off of.
That's true.
Between Two Castles. I think there's another game that it's
yes,
based
I
off
think it's
of.
called The Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
Yes, we haven't played any of those games.
Either of those, no.
So we thought it would be an interesting review as people who are just kind of blind to those 2 games, playing this version for the first time and like saying what it's like. And I was pleasantly surprised by it. I really do like the idea of having a co-op versus game. That's kind of like semi-co-op, but versus. It's kind of cool where it makes a game feel like a party game in a way. And it's kind of, there's a lot of laughing at the table, which I really enjoy. It works really well with a high player count, which you can't say for a lot of games. Yes. So I really appreciated that as well. I feel like the scoring in the game is a little convoluted, but that's also kind of the fun of the game a little bit because of how convoluted the scoring is.
Yeah.
It also does this thing in co-op games that I like, in which it removes the quarterback, and by having you flip over the tiles, you've made that choice, and now you got to figure out what best to do it. So it's kind of, it removes quarterbacking from co-op. There's like no instance of it really at all.
Yeah.
And I do like that. A lot of surprises for me. Is it an amazing game? It's good. I don't want to say it's amazing. It's good, but I like a lot of the things that it's going for and it accomplishes. What about you?
Yeah, I think I don't mean to parrot everything you're saying too, but I had no interest in playing this game until we got it.
Yeah.
And when we got it, we immediately moved it to the top of the list because it was like, we are so excited that this is our first game we get to play. That we got sent. And it was surprising. Like kind of like what you said, it feels like a step laterally from a party game. It feels like a party game, but it has gamery mechanics built into it. Because like one of the things I found interesting about this game is that you're kind of seeing how your other players prioritize what they strategize, you know? So like sometimes I'll take tiles and I'm like, oh well, I think I need to get more. I need to get our 3rd tile out. And then you'll see that your partner on your right side decided, hey, I'm actually going for the downstairs room because now I'm seeing that we're scoring 3 food above. And so it's like that discussion. And like one of the cool things too is that when you play your 2, you've maybe mentally in your mind already decided which castle they go to. But when you reveal it, your partner can convince you, oh no, I want the other one.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's that caveat of it doesn't matter how high you score one castle, because if that other castle isn't being taken care of to get the same amount of points, you're gonna end up losing.
Yeah, it's a good way to be like, you're not being led to victory by someone else.
Yeah.
That you have to do well on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I want to help this one, but right now my castle on my left is like is looking like a garbage dump right now.
Do you think that, and I was thinking about this too when we're, getting ready to do the review of this, is do you feel that because there are two castles you're working on, that it's sort of, and if you're doing a co-op on both ends, that it kind of limits analysis paralysis? Because you're trying to make a decision quickly so you can go to the next castle.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because like a lot of times though, like when you're while you're discussing with someone, that your other side is discussing with their side, with their side. So it doesn't feel like this game does. It feels like it's a very short time play.
Yeah,
because it's only 2 rounds. So you're passing then 9 tiles. You draw 2, you play them, you pass to the left. Then on the second round, you then pass to the right.
Yeah,
it feels like we get through this game maybe in like 45 minutes max.
It's brisk,
and like feels like 15 minutes is like taken up by just scoring.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, because scoring is pretty complicated in this.
A little bit, yeah.
But that's kind of the the strategy of it, is how complicated the scoring is.
Yeah.
And you kind of see how different people think about the scoring in the game, what they choose to focus on.
Yeah.
And how they
I will say, like, playing this game though, I get that feeling that if this would be a great kind of game to play when you're trying to meet new people.
Yeah.
Right? Because like as you're sitting with them, like, oh, I'm gonna seat myself next to 2 people I've never really talked with. I get to talk with them by like building this castle together. We get to be like, oh, I think we need to get this, specific tile in here so we can get a third one in here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
It creates conversation with the fellow players, which is like one of the cool things I think this game does that a lot of games don't do. Yeah.
It's funny. I think this is a game that has like a good amount of specific uses for it that not a lot of games has. And specific, like, that's a good way to put it too. To meet people at the table. I look at it as kind of like we have a big player group, but we don't want to play like a simple trick-taking game or a filler game.
Or sometimes even a really massive game.
Yeah.
Because, like, say, again, if we're going to go Stonemaier here, we could have Scythe for 7 players.
Yeah.
And that game would take about 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, this is like a quick 45 to 60 minutes, and you got 7 people
still
at
has
the
that
table.
crunchy feel to it. Yeah.
I definitely see this being pulled out when you just have a game night and have more people than you thought, or whatever the case may be.
I'm still thinking too, even that, like, if you had, like, say, a group of coworkers, this would be a great, like, for when you're, your coworkers at work, is you want to see how, like, you want to, like, develop your, your collaborative skills, because like we have a specific task we need to do. How well are we going to do it? Let's play this game. Let's kind of like see how each other thinks.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I think, this game would kind of shine.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. It just works. It's not directly a party game, but it just works as one.
Yeah. Who do you think this game isn't for?
Heavy gamers, one. People who are looking for something like extremely crunchy. Don't like co-op, because co-op is in it.
Okay.
It's not that much co-op, but it is a part of the game. So if you don't like co-op, I don't know if this would be for you.
Yeah.
Tile placement, if that's not your thing either. But I think that's a very specific gamer that this isn't for.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going like, I want to play a Lacerda game, this isn't for you.
Okay, yeah.
But I feel like a lot of games that's on the lighter end wouldn't be for that person.
Yeah.
I just think this works for a lot of people. I think the biggest deterrent would probably be the tile lane and the scoring mechanics.
Yeah, and it was a little bit difficult for us to perceive the difference between the type of room and the decoration for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, like, the tiles are very small, like slightly smaller text. It's a little bit hard to slightly tell the difference between, like, the portrait and the mirror. But then again, it's a minor thing.
The scoring could have been a little bit simpler. I think it's a little too convoluted. I think it should be lighter than it actually is.
Yeah.
Like the scoring doesn't match the simplicity of gameplay.
Yeah.
Just a little bit though. Like if you remove the decoration from it and it's just based off of the rooms itself, outside of that,
Yeah.
I think it would be perfect in terms of like matching.
Right.
But that's a very small con for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of buy, play, skip, where does this rank for you?
This is a pretty good game. I was, again, very surprised. This was a game that I thought I would go into and think that I would probably just pass it just for the sake of passing it.
Yeah.
But I would be a play. I'd be leaning more buy. If you if you are looking for a game that has some sort of player interaction, but in a more positive note, right? A lot of times when you have player interaction games for a competitive game, you get a lot of like, I'm doing this to hinder you.
Yeah.
This is, we are working together so that we can buff up the points on this castle.
Yeah.
Even though the castle on the other one might score more, this will score us at least the high one. So I like that idea. I think this is definitely worth a play to see if you like it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
Oh man, I hate to rate the same as you, but I am on a play, leaning towards a buy. And I think this is a buy for specifically if you have usually a game group that's larger than 4, but you don't want like to just play party games all night. This is or filler games all night. This is like the perfect game.
Yeah.
I really do think so. This is more of a play if you're looking for that, but you're not sure about the tile laying, and the scoring mechanism in the game might be a little off for you. Give this a play. See how much that bothers you. Because I'm not the biggest tile laying person.
Yeah.
This works for me.
Yeah.
So this is a play leaning on buy, but I do think it's like right there.
Yeah.
And I hate this. This is not because we got the game from the publisher. To be perfectly honest, we're surprised by how much we enjoyed this game.
Yeah, when we pulled it out with our group,
Yeah.
we were like, okay, we just need to get it played so that we can review it.
We thought it would be an
We
interesting
ended up
play.
playing 2 games of it straight because we were like, this is a very interesting mechanic. We want to see how it goes again.
Yeah.
And then we actually ended up with the highest castle on that time because we
did.
ended up building a really tall castle off of the tower.
Yeah.
So in this game, just as a caveat or as a story, we named ours The Shaft. And we ended up taking the theme song of Shaft and playing it as we were scoring our castle.
Just making it bigger.
Yeah.
It was fun. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's what kind of like it's kind of these moments that give you memories in this game. That's why we ended up playing a second game because that was such an interesting memory.
Yeah, it just felt like such like a party game.
Yeah.
And I was like very impressed by the fact that it can do that.
Yeah.
So definitely for us, play leaning on buy.
And check it out. I mean, I'm more excited to possibly try the other 2 games it's based off of.
Yeah, it would be interesting reviews going from this and coming down.
Yeah.
I'm now more interested in those games.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that is our late to the game review of Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig. Let us know your thoughts below. I'm Zoe.
And Mark.
See you on the next adventure.
Shift!